we are ready. And what you need to do is go to the dice page. So you click that tab down at the bottom. We have a buyer, a seller, a dice, a marketplace, and a defaults tab. You need to click the dice tab. I will also, on the teacher side, see what you're doing. I can see where you are. Monday morning, 9 a.m. when we're online, to get my attention and to ask any questions you have through the chat room. Of course, separately, you can come and make an appointment in my office anytime, or you can email the negotiation assistant, the teaching assistant's email at any time. But because this is the RPG beginning, maybe you have a question about the game or your situation in the game or some rules about the game. Now would be a good time to ask, but you have to be patient because we have many groups and I need to finish this first for everybody. So you may say something like, Professor Warden, I have a question. Can I wait for you? And I'll tell you yes in 30 minutes. Just stay online and I'll get back to you. The most important part of the RPG is before you begin the game, you need to set up your company. And the way you do that is you go to your RPG page, which we can see here. Only you need to make sure you go to the tab labeled Dice. You see that there? So you need to open up the Dice section because we're going to be doing some dice rolling. You see the dice here, right? That kind of dice symbol. So we're going to be basically generating some random numbers, and then you can make some choices about your company and what you want to buy or sell and what you want to emphasize in your negotiation. So let's take a look at this sheet here first and get some basic idea. You can see at the very top of the sheet is a very important area, and that's this area here with the times in it. Time until start roll. So that means that how much time is left until you can actually roll the dice and generate the numbers you need to distribute. You can see here this example 0017 minutes, meaning there's 17 minutes until I can begin. And very clearly the page is showing me in this square, do not roll. So even if I try to roll, I can't roll now. That's impossible. You can also see that there is time until end, and that's 2 hours 17 minutes. So what this is telling me is that from the time of the beginning of the roll, which will be in 17 minutes, I'm going to have 2 hours more to complete the roll. That means I can sit with my group and we can make a plan, we can think what we want to do, and we have 2 hours until we need to lock everything in and begin to play the RPG. So that time may change depending on the RPG we are doing at the time, and we're going to do many of these through the semester. But usually what we do is it will be Monday mornings, and it will usually begin at 9 a.m. and the time will usually go until 11 a.m. So you have that time, 9, 10, 11, 2 hours to complete your roll, make a plan, distribute your points, and then lock in and begin to play the game. And all the groups will be the same. So that's what that time up top is telling us. Right now I can't do anything because it's not time yet. There's 17 more minutes until time. And after that 17 minutes begins or is over and I have 0, it's going to allow me to roll, and I'm going to have 2 hours after that. All right, that's the way that time functions. We also see, as I said, you cannot do anything now, and that will not change until those 17 minutes pass, which now are down to 12 minutes here. Let's just quickly go over some parts of this page very quickly. The yellow area over here, these are going to be your points that you're going to play in the actual game. That is, when you play, these are the points, these are the system you're going to use, and they're unchangeable. They're going to be fixed for the whole time of the game. Usually a game will last for 6 to 7 days, depending on the schedule, but about a week. So you have a week, 5 to 7 days to execute your negotiation and to use up all of your product or to buy all the product you need to buy. You can see down here we have an A, and that A is a product because sometimes we have more than one product you can choose from. There might be an A product or a B product. And depending on the one you choose, it'll show the name. For example, here, sports carry duffel bag is product A. If I change that to product B, then it will change to another product. Down in this green area, you can see these kind of drop down arrows and menus and these labels. These labels here are the same as the labels up top. So that is to say, if you look up here, see flex, you also have flex down here. If you see delivery, you also have delivery down here. These green area numbers are changeable. You can use the drop-down menu to go ahead and change them to be the values you want. And this is a way to distribute your points. Now you can see up here we have 19 points, and we're supposed to spend 19 points down here in these drop-down arrows. So that's the way you distribute your points. Of course, right now there's not much we can do because this game is already locked. We cannot roll, we cannot change anything even if we try. Let me go ahead and show you what would happen if we do try. So I can click anywhere on the page and press enter, and we'll get a message like this. There was a problem, you're trying to edit a protected seller object. So you cannot just change any area. There's only some areas you can change. For example, we can change the drop-down menus here, but that's not going to really do anything because even though I change these numbers here, you can see the yellow numbers in the yellow area are not changing. Those are the actual game. We can't do anything. Why? Because we've still got 12 minutes until we're allowed to roll. You can see I went ahead and I distributed some points. I changed some of these points here, and I actually ended up spending more points than I have. Right now I have 19 points, and this red area will come up, a warning saying you have spent more than you have. So that's something to pay attention to, but it doesn't really matter right now because there's nothing we can do. If I went ahead and I try to roll the dice now, that says roll now, I can press the button, and again it will say that we're going to get a warning, but this warning is a little bit of a special warning. When you do play the game, the very first time you play, you're going to get this warning, which is authorization required. This is a special case, and it will happen to everyone who has a Google page open the first time you begin to use the system. So that authorization required means at least one time you need to authorize because we have some scripts that run. So what you should do is go ahead and say continue, and then you're going to get a pop-up window, and that pop-up window is going to have your Google account on it. You may have more than one Google account, so you should select one that you want to use for our class. And then after you select your Google account, you're going to have to press this button, allow. If you don't press allow, then the programs cannot run and you won't be able to play our game. So I'm going to go ahead and allow that now for this account. And that's it. I now have permission to go ahead and do things. But what can I actually do? Well, I can push the roll button, but what's going to happen? You can see that after I push the roll button, this yellow area here lights up and tells me type anything here. So you've probably seen this before because the program wants to check, are you really a human? Are you just a robot or a bot? We really need to know that this is you. So after you press the button, roll now, then this yellow area will light up and say type anything here. Well, let me go ahead and type anything here. So I'm going to just go ahead and click that and type anything, 998877, anything. Then press enter. So you must press enter. So I go ahead and I press enter, and the system will go ahead and run something. Well, it's not running anything now, so I'm not going to get too excited. You need to be patient. Sometimes the internet can be slow, or there can be other problems. So I'm going to try that again. I'm going to press roll now. I'm asked to type anything. I'm going to click on anything and 98765 and press enter. And then you're going to get a message, and the message says that it's contacted the server. So you go ahead and say, okay, I got it. It's contacted the server. Things are looking good. But there's a problem. The problem is it's not time to roll. So you need to check the class schedule, the message tells us. And you can see that the problem is we still have 7 minutes until we can play this game, right? Until we can roll. Now, after we roll, we play the game for a week, but right now we can't even roll. I can also press this button, play now. What's that going to do? Something very similar. It's going to ask me to type anything here. So 9876 223 something, and then I press enter. And again, it's going to contact the server. And I say, okay, contact the server is good. And then it's going to say, confirm. Are you sure you want to play now? That means you're going to lock in your scores. And I say, yes, I want to do that. But it's a problem because it's not time to roll the dice yet. It's not time to begin. So I say, okay, and nothing's changed. So you see why we have this problem? It's because we still have here 7 minutes until we can even roll the dice. All right, so we're going to have to wait for that. In the meantime, then, let me just quickly review what we've seen. What we have here is a dice rolling area. When you see this, do not roll, that means there's really nothing you can do. It's either waiting to begin to roll the dice, or we haven't finished last week's game, and last week's RPG is still going, so there's nothing we can do. If I look over here, I can see that I still have some points here. Those points were from the last RPG game, and I can't change those until a new dice rolling time comes. So nothing I can do there. You can also see that down here, the area is all darkened. Why? Because that previous game is already locked in. There's nothing I can do. And in fact, you can see the word freeze here, meaning that all your points that you've distributed are frozen. No change can occur now because it's already past the dice rolling time and it's on the game playing time.